Welcome to the seventh and final section of this video course. In the previous video, we took a look at a complete example, which should be sufficient information for you to try out all the techniques on your own application. In this section, we will take a tour of the advanced usage of Selenium, a look back at what we've covered in the course. This video deals with the advanced usage of Selenium. And the question you may have is, what is left that could be more advanced? Let's take a step back and ask ourselves what is advanced. I think advanced will be anything that is somewhat more complicated than you know at the moment. In other words, it depends on your current knowledge and what you expect to use the tool for. We have covered many details about interacting with a web application and how to assert a lot of different things in this video course. Some of this can definitely be considered advanced. Selenium is all about automation, so I assume that advanced at this stage would mean automating something you didn't expect to be automated using Selenium. We have already discussed some common advanced topics available at the following location: docs.seleniumhq.org/docs. github.com/seleniumhq/selenium. Let's take a quick look at them. Moving on, let's peek at a few more advanced usages. The first one is semantic verification. Selenium can be used for semantic verification of a service. It is common to verify that a server is up and running using different monitoring tools. Nagios is one example of a monitoring tool. The problem with them is that they usually only verify that a service is up and running. This is obviously important, but it is not enough. It is not enough to know just that your server isn't down. What you really would like to know is, can my users use the service I provide? Well, how can you know that? You can know that by monitoring the logs and see that you have the expected traffic. You could also monitor it by simulating an important path through the application. Since it is a web application, Selenium is a perfect fit for this case. You could define a smoke test that is executed from Nagios that simulates an actual user. You may want to verify if it's possible to select an item and put it in a shopping bag. You could also perform a purchase. Performing a purchase may surface other problems, such as the issue with valid credit card information in your source code. But it could be done, and you would know pretty soon if you had an important production bug or not. Performing a complete purchase would verify not just your application, but also the interaction with third-party payment providers. Even if their production isn't strictly your problem, you are affected in a very high degree if they are down. You want to make them aware of this as soon as possible if that is the case. A customer of mine is using a tool called Service Manager, an ITIL tool for tracking changes in their environment. It seems like a heavy tool to use, and one of the guys working with it has tried to automate creating the changes with Selenium. I'm unsure about the final outcome, but automating your job using a browser automation tool like Selenium is definitely an advanced usage. I have used WebDriver to add test users to a system for one of my clients. Whenever we refresh the test database in the test environments, we also had to add a set of test users. We did an attempt to add one user and spied on the database to see if we could understand what was changed. The product running the database was a third-party product, and we didn't know all the details of how they used the database. It turned out that adding one user triggered some 300 database changes. The DBA and I then realized that this would probably be complicated. It was, however, not complicated to browse to a page where we could add each user. Automating it with WebDriver and the headless HTML unit driver turned out to be easy. So instead of understanding a third-party implementation of a database operation, we used the web interface they supplied together with a headless browser. The entire process was executed from a build server running TeamCity, so we couldn't expect to find a browser on the system. Using the HTML unit driver turned out to work more or less perfectly. For TeamCity, you can visit www.jetbrains.com/TeamCity. Advanced usages of Selenium tend to include automation, and when you know Selenium, it isn't really advanced. It is often more of the same as any other functional test of a web application. The biggest difference is that we don't test the application, we are using it. One potentially advanced usage of Selenium that I have heard is load testing. I am pretty sure that it would be the wrong approach. Running a browser would be a very ineffective way to generate load. There are many other tools out there that specialize for generating load, JMeter being one of them. So load testing is an area where I currently don't think Selenium will ever be the right tool. FlexMonkeyum plugin for Selenium IDE allows you to record and play back FlexMonkey tests using Selenium. Selenium RC has an extension, Flex UI Selenium, but unfortunately there is no extension available for Selenium WebDriver. Some of the tools based on Selenium WebDriver can be used for mobile application testing. Share your war story with the community. Write a blog post about it. Send an email to the Selenium users list at Google Groups. The address is given below. Let us visit the forums for a while. You can post your questions and expect answers of common problems here. To sum up this video, advanced usage is only advanced until you don't know how to use them. Once you understand them, things become very easy. We have looked at many different ways to automate web applications using Selenium in this video course, and most of the applications I have mentioned here should not seem very advanced to you anymore. They may have seemed advanced one day, but I'm sure it's not anymore. In the next video, we will sum up the entire course and see how we can go beyond with Selenium.